Have you ever wondered what God does all day long? Seriously. Well, Jesus shows us. Jesus shows us in his own life what God does. God heals, God rescues, and God loves. Those three words are very important. Heals, rescues, and loves. It's all about compassion and mercy. Our Holy Father has been emphasizing that over and over and over again. That if we really want to be in tune with the gospel, and we want to understand our God, if we want to understand Jesus, if we want to understand the church, it's about compassion and mercy. Now, if you listen carefully to the entire gospel today, the whole gospel, the beginning and the end, Jesus is responding to the Pharisees who are trying to trick him and test him and trap him, as they do in many of the Gospels, and if you've listened all during the past weeks, which they have tried to do. And so today he reminds them that they can talk about the law and what is lawful as much as they want. But he puts a twist in there. And he says, but if they are going to create God's community and God's way of life, they need to pay attention to those who are dependent, vulnerable, cast aside, and considered outside the law, because it's all about healing, rescuing, and loving. It's about mercy and compassion. And the Pharisees, though, keep pushing. They keep pushing the laws that provided them with a sense of strength, a sense of power, and independence and superiority. Remember, they are the ones who used to love to use the law to separate and exclude people, and to put them into various categories, to expel people, and to call people unworthy of God's love and God's forgiveness. That's the story that encompasses the whole gospel that Jesus tells us, whether we're reading Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. So today, what Jesus is speaking about is the kind of human community we can become, or we will become, if we allow God's mercy and love to dominate and dictate our thought, words, and actions. So Jesus' moral imagination is bigger than the law. Jesus' moral imagination is bigger than the law. And for Jesus, all relationships are founded on love and mutual interdependence, respect and dignity, protecting the vulnerable, especially in the gospel today, women and children who could be cast aside and who had the least status and the least rights in Jesus' world. And so as Jesus has been doing the last few weeks, he reminds us that the community of God is not just a community of the strong. And he reminds us that the quality of anyone's life, your life, my life, anyone's life, and the measure of love is revealed in the degree of compassion and mercy that we can offer and give and share. So Jesus teaches us that even though we live in a broken world, and that brokenness and that tragedy of life is displayed once again and exemplified in the shootings that took place in Oregon this past week, the lives that are ripped apart and the hearts that are ripped apart, a broken people in a broken world. But Jesus says being broken is also being human. Being broken is also being human. And to be human is to be loved by God. No one is excluded. And this is what we share with each other, no matter what our circumstances in life are. So why do we gather here each week? We gather here each week because we are the gathering of the broken and the loved. Some of us are broken, but we're all loved. We are the community of the hurting and those who are healing. We are the community of the lost and the found. We are the community of those in need and those who need our help. We are the community of the broken and the vulnerable, the community of children, the community of the married, the community of healthy marriages and struggling marriages, the community of the committed, the community of broken relationships and loving relationships. We are the community of children who have been provided with opportunity and those who are denied opportunity because of poverty, greed, and lack of education. So this week, our job, our task this week, it's a tremendous task for us to achieve, is to somehow integrate Jesus' way of life into every dimension of ours. That means integrating Jesus' way of life into our finances, our marriages, our family life, our community life, our friendships, the media, the arts, education, our relationships, our social services, our politics. And we are called then, as this community of Christ the servant, to love the community we live in and to love this world and embrace this world in the same way that Jesus does, with all of his heart. And we need to do that. Listen to this. We need to do this for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, until death